Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Mythlook with your host Nitin Nair. A quick shout out to all our subscribers before we begin our video. As always, thank you so much for the support and love that you share with us, especially those who take time out to write to us in the comments and let us know if there are any such elements that we've missed in our videos, or to give us more information on any of the characters that we have covered. We've always stated that actual practitioners of these ancient belief systems are always going to have more information about these characters than any other book or journal that we might refer in our research. Also, hit that subscribe button because that's the easiest way to let YouTube know that these videos are good and needs to be shared with a lot more people who have an interest in the topic. And now back to the video. After sticking around in the country of Philippines for our previous video, we are now going to be moving to the mainland, where we will be looking into Chinese mythology and a mortal character who has been associated with future prediction, martial arts, and breaking the rules. This is none other than Ji Gong, the drunken monk. The Chan Buddhist monk known as Ji Gong was born as Li Shu Yuan in 1130. He lived in the southern Song and claimed to have supernatural powers. He used his position to help the poor and fight against injustice. He was also known for his eccentric and wild behavior, which included not following the Buddhist monastic order's rules when it came to consuming meat and alcohol. By the time he passed away, Ji Gong was a deity in Chinese culture and regarded as a legend in Buddhist traditions. He is also mentioned in various folk tales and kans. Wearing tattered monastic clothes, Ji Gong can be seen smiling and carrying a bottle of wine in one hand and a fan in the other. He often wears a hat with the character Fo, which means Buddha. Because of his carefree attitude, he is rarely seen with a serious expression. Chinese historians believe that the birth of Ji Gong occurred in 1130. He was born with a name known as Li Shu Yuan, and his father was a military advisor. Li Shu Yuan grew up in Zhejiang province, and his parents died when he was 18 years old. He lived a quiet life in a monastery instead of taking his parents' wealth and position. After being named Daoji, he had a hard time adapting to the life in the Lingyan temple. He also had a hard time following the strict rules set by the monks. Daoji started out as a poor student, even though he had studied under a highly esteemed teacher. He openly broke the monastery's rules by drinking wine, eating meat, and talking out of turn. Despite his actions, however, he still held many of Buddha's teachings. Some legends claim that Daoji left the monastery because he could not follow the monks' strict orders. Others say that he was removed from the monastery due to his disruptive behavior. Ji Gong was born as Li Shu Yuan and was later given the name Daoji. He has also been referred to as the Mad Monk and the Drunken Monk. A legend states that during the construction of a temple in Hangzhou, the monks needed wood, and the best timber was only found in the Sichuan province. Despite the monks' desperate situation, Ji Gong was still able to pull logs over with his supernatural powers. The other monks had already piled them up when the counting started. When the monk shouted that he was counting them, Ji Gong stepped on one of the logs. The last one remained intact in the well, which later became known as the Divine Teleportation well. According to another legend, Ji Gong was able to predict the future by seeing that a mountain peak was going to crash into a nearby village. He then told the villagers to run away, but they didn't believe him. He then understood that he had to do something to save the people in the community. Upon seeing a wedding procession moving in the village, Ji Gong grabbed the bride and threw her over his shoulder. The wedding guests and their families were then alerted and called their friends and relatives to chase after the abductor. An enormous mountain peak then crashed to the village as people passed the gate. Ji Gong has been portrayed by numerous actors in films and television series from as early as 1939, but he received international acclaim after Stephen Chow's 1993 film The Mad Monk. Asian superstar Jackie Chan also has reprised roles of the drunken monk in a couple of his movies as well. As you can see, a mortal character from Chinese mythology always tends to be equated with an actual person who was alive during a specific period of time. The Chinese have managed to make this a constant feature in every place where they talk about their mythology in order to ensure that the future generations look at mythology as historical texts rather than tales of fantasy and fiction, which has been one of the biggest banes in the growth and spread of mythology all around the world. We will be looking at more mortal characters, many of whom we can easily relate to and have also seen on the big screen as we move forward in our journey to bring you mythology from all around the world. This is your host Nitin Nair signing out by reminding you once again that Mythlook is the home of mythology.